This week on Men's Mental Health, we talking about dealing with a loss. This pedo, this man's health. Let's get it. All right, number one is family and friends. I want you to understand that everybody deal with death differently. Some deaths are unexpected. Some deaths where they kind of have an idea that it may or may not come or around the time frame. So I want you to understand that some people are close with their family members that pass. Some people are not. So just because you may feel a certain way about the passing of yours, I don't want you to take it personal if somebody else feels different about theirs. You know, you hear the basic terms, get over it, you'll be okay. You know, just generic statements a lot of times because some people haven't dealt with the situation on their own, or some people don't even know how. So I want you to understand that it's a double-edged sword. That support system can be magnificent. It can be beautiful. It can be a great thing. A lot of times that's what we need, but sometimes it can also be a negative thing. So whenever you're dealing with family and friends, whenever it comes to a lost one, I just want you to understand, don't take everything so personal, and everything is not an attack on your situation. So let's just try to be a little bit more patient with the people around us because they're trying the best they can. All right, number two is being patient with yourself through this process. They say grief is love with nowhere to go. I want you to understand that. We always taught that we got to fight through depression. We got to fight through these processes. We got to keep pushing it, keep pushing. Sometimes I want you to sit still. Sometimes I want you to sit on them emotions, especially right now. I want you to understand that there's a lesson. That's something that can be gained out of this moment. I know you're in pain. I know it's hurting. I know you don't understand or expect this to even happen. Like a lot of times we get in a place like, why me? Why this? Why that? A lot of times it's something that you just can't control. And if you're so quick to ignore them feelings, go to work, go to the gym, just try to ignore how you feel, you'll miss these key moments that'll help you develop. That's going to pay dividends in the long run. So while we in this time, just sit still for a second, process these emotions, understand how you feel. So moving forwardly in the long run, you won't have to go back and do the work later because you were so quick to ignore it at the time, just so you don't feel that hurt and pain. Remember, that hurt and that pain ain't always a bad thing. You with me? All right, number three is a celebration of their life. A lot of different cultures around the world have different celebrations to celebrate people that's passed on. And I want us to understand that there's a lot of things we can do to celebrate a person's life that was here that's no longer here. For example, you can write them a letter. Sometimes getting that emotion off is almost like you speaking to them still, because you can write the letter, put it in the lantern, light it in the air, and send it to them. And you can do that many as times as you want. You can keep their characteristics and their values and their core beliefs alive while installing that into your children. And they're not really going because a lot of things that they taught you is passed down to you. So you can understand just because they're no longer here with us physically, their teachings, their moral, their character, everything that they installed in you will be with you forever. And there's so many things we can do to celebrate their life, their teachings, their presence of being here, the memories, all that is important, the pictures. So I want you to figure out a way where you can celebrate their life, write them letters, keep them alive, and that will help, especially when the times you get low, especially when you really miss their voice. Write a letter, all these things you could possibly do to just keep them in your life and keep moving forward in a positive way in them dark times. All right, this is number five. I want you to understand that there are community groups out here that will help because a lot of times your family and friends ain't willing or in a place where they can have these conversations or be there for you emotionally to understand. Sometimes your significant other don't understand. Me personally, I haven't had to deal with death like that. So I wouldn't be as much help as these community groups out here. Just like they have AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, all these other different groups to support. They have people that are dealing with grief, just like anybody that may be watching this video are. So that's what I want you to do. Reach out for support, reach out for help, and join some of these community groups so you're not dealing with it alone, especially at these dark, low times. Even when you're feeling good, you could be the voice that helps somebody else get out of that dark place. So please take the time out, look in your local areas, and if I can, I'll try to put some links in the bottom, or maybe it can help you direct you to a better place in the time of need. It's Pedo, this Men's Mental Health. Let's get it. All right. It says 7 steps to your grieving process. And I'm going to put the list of it under this video so you guys can look at it, so you guys can see in the caption. It'll have all different stages to these steps. But they say number 1 is shock. Number 2 is denial. Number 3 is anger. Number 4 is bargaining. Number 5 is depression. Number 6 is testing. And number 7 is accepting. So these are like a guideline to a lot of people dealing with grieving. And I want you guys to, take some time out if you're having a hard time and don't know how to process, don't know what's the next step, or don't understand how you're feeling. You can revert to these, 7 steps, and you can look at them and see where you at with this process and how you can possibly get to a better place or the next step. But remember, you're not alone. You don't have to do this. And the information is out there if you're willing to look for it and seek it to get help, to get to a better understanding of where you at and what you're dealing with emotionally. You with me?